Right, super exciting day for me today. I get to pick my first tomatoes in my new tunnel. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So while we gaze at these, I'll just tell you what, in this video, I'm going to go through how I got here, what I've been doing, how I've been looking after them, and if you can chip in with any advice of what I could do better, whether I'm overwatering, underwatering, overfeeding, underfeeding, because I'll say what I've been doing as we go along. That'd be brilliant. And then we'll come back and we'll pick one. Can't wait. Right, so I got three different types of tomatoes ish in here that I want to talk about. The first one, the bushy ones here, the cherry fulls, they grow nice and low and they're quite bushy. The only thing I've done with these really is to, on the advice of Glenn from Veggie Patch Ideas, thanks Glenn, is I've cut out some of the foliage in the middle to like open up the plant and let a bit of air in. All right, I've done this one. I'll just go to the other one. And this one I haven't done yet. And you can see, you know, it's quite a mass of leaves and stuff in there. So I'm going to do that one in a minute. All right, so that's that one. Right, so this is the more sort of conventional tomato plant. This is Akron F1, and we'll start at the bottom. These were planted on the 12th of 12th of March using the 2-cup method, which worked really well, I think. They didn't need any potting on, just filling the cup up with the compost as they grew, and they were potted out here, or planted out here on the 2nd of June. When I planted them, I did put in my own deep watering system, which is a 65 mil guttering downpipe, a foot long, and I've been watering these pretty much every day. It's a foot long, holds about 1.5 litres of water, so they're getting deep watered every day, approximately 1.5 litres. I've done that because it is quite hot in this tunnel, you know, getting up 30, 40, high 40s. So I figure a continuous, nice, steady water supply is better than letting it dry out and then getting it wet. So hopefully that's all right. I put vermiculite around the bottom to help retain the moisture, and I figured that would be better than straw because it's not going to harbour slugs and things like that, although I haven't got any slugs in the tunnel that I know of. And once the trusses started to form with the tomatoes, I then started feeding with a liquid tomato feed, and I mix that up in the watering can, and then I've got a smaller 1 litre can, and I give each plant about half a litre. And there again, I'm doing that every day. Probably too much, I think, but you know, I'm new to this and I'm probably overdoing it and killing them with kindness. Although I've got tomatoes, so it can't be all bad. I've been training it up the bamboo, picking out the side shoots as they go, and as far as I understand, you let about 5 of these flowering trusses form and then prick out the top. So I think that's right. So they got a little way to go yet because these have only got 3 on them. So that's what I've been doing with the Akron. Well, I've been doing it with all of them. But the only other one I wanted to show you was a different variety, which is a lot leafier. So we're going to have a look at them. Right, so these are the Alicante variety, and as you can see, there's a lot more leaf about them, and the stems are a lot thicker. So what I'm doing is, when I feel that there's enough top growth, I'm cutting off the lower leaves, and anything that's, I mean, that one in the back there, I'll cut that off in a minute because that's touching the ground. So I figure that's bad. There again, having it's deep watered with my tube every day, 1.5 litres. I have got some marigolds in here, but I was a bit late planting them. You know, not timing's not my best thing. So there'll be some marigolds in here soon as well. The little red pot, I just have this one in each of the beds, just to put the weeds and little bits I cut off in the pot. You could probably leave them on the ground and it'll decay into the soil, I know, but I just like neat and tidy, so that's what I'm doing with them. The tunnel itself, I've got side ventilation, so we've got green ventilation mesh on the outside, and then there is a roll-up plastic mesh, so when the weather allows and it's still and not too windy, I can open it up and it lets you can just see everything just quietly moving. So hopefully that'll work well and keep everybody fresh and healthy. So my question with these really is, am I leaving too much leaf on these? You know, should I be cutting more leaf off, or should I wait till the trusses are more developed before I cut them off? I don't really know. So any advice on that? Gratefully received. Right, so that's the 3 sort of types of tomato I've got, how I'm looking after them, and where they are at the moment. So that's enough of these. Let's go and pick a tomato. Right, so this is my first picking of my Cherry Falls tomato. Not very many, not very big. Oh, they're lovely. How cool is that? Oh, one little thing, I don't know if it was just coincidence, but typical beginner, when I was all keen and I just saw that without tomatoes on it, I tried lifting it up to see if there was a tiny tomato inside, and it snapped off. So there, you can see that one snapped off, look, hopefully. So I'm not touching them now. Just wait till they go green and get a bit bigger. So don't try and look inside your tomato, in your flowers, to see if there's any tomatoes in there, because they snap off. Well, there you go. Fantastic. I pick a few of them, have them in my sandwiches for work tomorrow. So that's my first tomato harvest in my new tunnel, over the moon. Hopefully there'll be many more bigger ones next time. Right, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you've got any advice, chuck it at me. I'm soaking up information like a sponge. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers and gone.